Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of my Prismata Expert Scenarios series. We're almost done here, just have these last 2 scenarios to go. Let's get started with Advanced Defense 2. Now I remember this puzzle from a long time ago. It was one of the ones that was included in the sort of defense puzzles back before Prismata had this notion of combat training and scenario and campaign and so on. They were just like puzzles or something. I don't remember exactly what they were called, but and it was a hard one, and the answer is not immediately obvious to me. Like, I had to go, double check some things to figure out how to beat this one. Which is weird because the right solution is so obvious and clear, but I just can't ever bring myself to try it. Okay, anyway, we'll say end turn here. The enemy gets to attack us. He's attacking for 8, and so my first thought is is this one of those missions where you have to do this? And the answer is no, clearly it's not, because the opponent's going to be attacking for more than 8 for quite a while. So we'll just defend 2 force. So there's already sort of a question. Would you rather lose wall shield module matrix or double force field matrix? It sort of looks like a toss-up. You're relatively equally granular in both cases, but it's actually not. You have to defend force field. I'll first show you a few lines that lose, including, let's take this line here where we defend correctly, but we attack incorrectly. And so the first question is, what do you attack here? Your opponent's attacking with, he's got 4 Venge Cannons, so you can't kill any of those right away. He's also got a Gauss Cannon that will attack next turn, but isn't attacking this turn. And then there's these 3 Gauss charges. And from playing games with Venge Cannons, I'm very much used to killing their Gauss charges as just a generally good thing to do, right? They're 3 health or 3 attack, and it slows the game down a little. If you're ahead, you want the game to go slower, and if you're behind, it doesn't matter what you do because you're losing, so you might as well kill the Gauss charges. And so it's sort of natural to say, well, okay, how many Gauss charges? Is there something useful I could do with 3 attack? Not really. You're attacking for 4 every turn, and Venges have 4 health. Likewise, if you attack for 2, sorry, Venges have 8 health, so attacking for 3 doesn't do much. Likewise, there's nothing useful to do with 2 attack. What if I killed all the Gauss charges? Is there anything useful to do with 1 attack? Hey, there sort of is, right? Damage the Gauss Cannon, and then next turn you can finish off the Gauss Cannon and then start on the Venge Cannons. In the meantime, you've taken much less damage this turn. Seems promising. It doesn't actually work, though. Right, we can defend with Q, and it's going to defend perfectly here. There's no, interesting choices to make. And we get here, where... we're being attacked for 6, and we have a wall, which we'll lose onto the energy matrix. So, it looks like it was a mistake to have blocked with 2 force fields. Wouldn't it be better to have blocked with wall shield module? Well, no, because we can't really take away a shield module from this position to get us the force fields back. It's not going to work that way. But we could try to have wall plus shield, or force field plus shield module left, I suppose. What if we did this? Same thing with attacking all these guys. Defend in the obvious way. Kill the Gauss Cannon. And again, it wants to lose force field, but we don't like that. We want to keep... Oh, wait, yeah. Do we? Yeah, we wanted to keep the force fields alive. But this still doesn't work. We still have to eventually lose the 2 force fields, and we're left with Energy Matrix Wall against 6 attack. So this whole thing doesn't seem to work. No matter how you defend, we seem to have attacked wrong somehow. Even though it felt appealing to kill the Gauss charges, before they could attack us, and then like get that extra attack onto the Gauss cannon. I think a way to think about it is, to the opponent, attack is not worth that much, right? He has a lot of attack over a large number of turns, whereas to him, health is worth a lot, right? When he starts losing health, he'll start losing damage, which is a big deal. So by spending our limited attack, and conversely for us, attack is very precious, but health is sort of cheap. By spending our limited attack, slightly decreasing his quite large attack instead of his health, we sort of build ourselves a little problem, right? And so it doesn't really feel at all natural to me to not attack the Gauss charges, but if you just get started on the Venge Cannons, it sort of works better. And so you have the same problem even if you're of how to defend on turn 1, right? Should it be wall shield module or should it be 2 force fields? We'll try wall shield module first, and we'll see eventually why it doesn't work. This is something you could plot out with pen and paper if you wanted. I think it's a good exercise, but I'm not going to do it. And we just ignore all this stuff and say, fine, hit me with your stupid Gauss charges. We have easy defense here. We kill another one. And wall here. Fine. And now the only way to defend is like this. And we have enough defense, but it's shaped wrong, right? We need to defend for 5 twice, not for 6 once. So we need this force field to have been 2 shield modules. So finally, we can back up here and say, I'd rather lose force fields if it's all the same to you. And we preserve these shield modules for the last minute when you can sort of see the opponent will always be attacking you for odd numbers, right? And so for that, you want lots of walls and shield modules around. You don't want force fields, because you're absorbing for 4. And a wall or a shield module can make your defense number odd, but a force field can't. And finally, we break through here. He gets the last shield module just as we finish off the Venge Cannon, so that he's not killing us anymore. And we have to like go back and forth clicking on things for a while. And finally, we complete the exercise. The task of defending optimally in Prismata is related to a famous problem in theoretical computer science called the subset sum problem. You know, when you have a set of like numbers, and you want to find some subset of those numbers that adds to a particular other number. Like, you know, say you have all the integers from 1 to 10, and you want to find some way to add them up that comes to 19. Well, that's sort of easy. It's 10 and 9, right? But like, let's say 38. It's not so easy how to do that. I don't think that there's anyway, there's not an efficient solution. Maybe there is. I don't remember. I don't think there is, though, to the subset sum problem. Fine. And here we go. Let's get started on the last scenario, expert certification. Tip. These units are tricky, as many strong plays and counterplays are available. Watch what your opponent does and react accordingly. Right. So, what do we do in this game? First question, like how good are the absorbers? How defensive is the set? Can you build a lot of economy, or do you have to rush? I see here several reasonably capable absorbers. Right? These first 4 units are all good absorbers. That's not like the only thing that they do, but it is a thing that they do. Is there a way to punish any of these? Well, sure. Frostbite can freeze the Doomed Wall, but Xenoguardian is a very strong counter to Frostbite, because you just don't mind getting frozen. Can the opponent rush you fast enough that you can't get any of these? Well, maybe. There's not any like super strong rushy stuff. Basically just Perforator. Can the opponent punish you from getting any of these absorbers? Well, maybe. You know, Isochronus is a threat. You know, if you depend on these gigantic... Like, let's say you go for Colossuses. You can't buy them on the turns that your opponent won't be attacking. So it could be a little bit hard if your opponent goes for a bunch of Isos. But if they do that, I think that, like, Arms Race and Doomed Wall are probably pretty good. And, like, there's not much support for, like, Isos. You know, there's no, like, real breach-proof conversion for your drones. Tantalum Ray is not that overwhelming with Isos. So my inclination here would be to go for a high econ thing into Xeno Guardian and then maybe Odin, maybe Colossus, depends on how things turn out. I feel like I'm a lot better at playing Colossus than at Odin, so that's what I'm going to sort of aim for. It'll also be nice at some point, if at all possible, to pick up a Blood Phage, because then you can avoid floating... well, right. Colossus takes 2 red. It's not Centurion. Okay. So maybe that's not such a big deal. You could get an Arms Race or 2 first, so that you have actual attackers and your Colossus is threatening to actually attack your opponent, as opposed to just, like... if you build a Colossus that would just be getting absorbed by their wall, they don't have to do so much to defend against the threat of attacking with a Colossus. So anyway, that's my plan. Is like sort of start building up drones, try to pick up a Xeno Guardian if I can, maybe a Doomed Wall if I have to, then build an Arms Race or 2, and then a Colossus, and then start the Colossus train is the idea. But we will need to keep an eye on what the opponent does, as it says here. Right, if he did something super rushy, I might need to slow down and just go for Xenos and forget the Colossus. I don't see anything super rushy here, which is why I've decided I can go for Colossus, but, you know, Tesla coils, right? If you went super early Tesla coils, I don't think I could build Colossus. I'd have to go for, like, Doomed Wall and Xenos instead. But, no, indeed, he's mirroring, so we're going to have some time to build up a bunch of drones. Except, he's not mirroring. He built a 3rd engineer, but he doesn't want a 3rd drone. I think that's clearly a mistake. The Animus is just bizarre. A 3rd drone and a conduit would have made a lot more sense. But, you know, I'm not his mother. I can't tell him what to do. Am I going to build a wall or a blast forge here or a conduit? They're both okay. I think I'd rather get a blast forge so that I can build like a steel splitter to start defending, or maybe a wall if he builds something real fast. Which he does. He builds 2 perforators. Which, like, ugh. The perforators are a bit awkward for me, because he's probably not going to attack with them. If I, like, certainly if I build a wall, he's not going to attack with them, which means he'll actually have access to all this red. If I don't build the wall, he'll attack with them, and he won't have any red. That's kind of nice for me, but it's not really worth losing 2 engineers over. So the perforators are kind of an interesting threat that he's not going to make good on for quite a while, but they're always there, threatening to attack. I'm building at least 2 more drones, I think. I could get a 2nd blast forge here, or I could get more drones, or I could get a conduit. Those all sound sort of playable. What would I do with a 2nd blast forge? Not much, right? It's not like there's an energy matrix in the set. I want a 2nd blast forge eventually, but right now it's not doing anything. And I can't do anything cheeky like this and get an Odin yet. Yeah, I can't afford it. Okay. So this is a difficult turn. There's nothing that really leaps out at me as like the best play. Maybe there is a best play. Well, definitionally there is a best play, but I don't know what it is. Well, I'll have 19 drones next turn. $19 next turn. I don't think I want to spend it on, like... Well... I mean, I could do this. Spend $9 on drones and then 2 more blast forges. and threaten the Odin. I'd rather go for Colossus, honestly. But I'm just worried this is a little bit too slow to get to Colossus. Maybe I should build a conduit now so that I can start building up a supply of green to build a couple arms races before the Colossuses start. Yeah, I said I was going to do that, so I probably should. And it also lets me like get a Xeno Guardian or something. So I'll build a Steel Splitter and an Animus. 2 drones. I need more blue. What if this were a Doomed Wall instead of a Steel Splitter? And I added another Blast Forge. Now I have 18 drones, which is enough for Colossus whenever I feel like it, and also enough for double arms race if that's what I prefer. Meanwhile, this Doomed Wall will be expiring at about the same time as I build my first Colossus. Is that bad or good? Next turn I'll build 2 arms races. This will be at 2. The turn after that, this will be at 1. And that'll be the turn that I build the Colossus, not the turn that I block with Colossus. That feels pretty good, actually. Okay, so we'll build 2 arms races and then a Colossus is the idea. Here we're just losing a wall. And then next turn we're losing like a Doomed Wall and I don't know, probably actually also an Engineer or 2. So let's replace the Engineer. I'm not sure I'll need it, but I might if he builds enough aggressive stuff. And this requires him to be spending his red on attack, by the way, to even put any pressure on me. Okay, yeah, I'll hold back a Steel Splitter to defend, of course. So now, like, I have 6 Absorb. He can kill at most 3 Engineers. And I get a Colossus down and replace the Engineers. Yeah, this feels pretty good. Now he's killing at most 2 Engineers while I block on the Colossus. Again, feels great. Let's replace the Engineer. As many as I can, anyway. And look, he's having to build walls instead of attackers. So I like where this is going. Again, we're losing 2 Engineers, but that's fine. We'll just build another Colossus, replace the Engineers. We're scaling up attack and holding steady in terms of defense, while he's having to just build a million defenders. That's the way you like this game to go. Build that last Colossus, replace 1 Engineer, and he should be under just an unbearable amount of pressure any minute now. Whoops, don't do that. Do this. Okay, so he threatens to attack for enough that my Engineer can't defend this, but that's fine. I can just, like, build a wall. Right? I don't have to keep building Colossuses with all my tech. Or actually build a Xeno Guardian and, I don't have any more green. And a Rhino? Yeah, that's fine. Losing Rhino onto Colossus kind of sucks a little, but it's fine. And I'll build a Blood Phage, because I'm going to have trouble spending all my red in the coming turns. I'd like some more defense, but the Xeno Guardian will be good defense, and I can build walls in front of it. Yeah, 2 walls into Xeno Guardian is a good way to deal with 9 attack. Oh, I'm not losing the Engineer. I forgot how much health Colossus has. Okay, cool. Look at this, we're breaching already. Wow, Colossus is overpowered. Let's just build an arms race and, like, I don't know how to green. Force Field is what deals with this effectively. I'll just hold back an Engineer and build like a Steel Splitter, I guess. Unclick the Blood Phage to let me build Perforator's Efficient Defender, sure, and another Engineer. It doesn't really matter, of course, we've won now. Actually, kill the animus. Now the perforators can't attack. He's attacking just for 3, which is perfectly fine with me. And build more arms races. I don't know. It's probably not the best, most efficient way to kill someone who's already not defending, but it doesn't really matter, as I've said. Okay, Xeno Guardian. I'll Steel Splitter, Tarsier. There you go. Drone. We got him. Hooray. Freezing a 4 health Doomed Wall with 1 lifespan is equivalent to dealing 4 damage. That's true, but didn't happen in this game once again. Whoops, I forgot to actually review the game. But we can just look at the set again. So the plan that I had is more or less what I did, and it worked, right? We managed to get out a little bit of attack to pressure him while defending with Doomed Wall, no, we never did end up building Xeno Guardian until we were done with Colossuses. Anyway, defending with Wall and Doomed Wall gave us enough time to get out a Colossus and a little bit of attack. And from there, the Colossus train was pretty self-sustaining. We had the right number of drones to keep everything going. It felt pretty good. It might have been nice to have 1 more drone, but as things were, it was all right. The opponent made things easy for us by just going for something way too rushy in a set where there's no real reason to rush. Perforators are a kind of rushy unit sometimes, but there's not enough here to support them. Perforators can also be played as just efficient defenders. You know, they're cheaper than 2 engineers and they have the same amount of health. But they can support, like a Perforator Electivore Rush can be pretty powerful. Perforator Electivore Grimbotch or something, sure. But here, not so much. It might have been nice at some point to get an Odin as well to really finish him off. I think that's what I did in the practice game, was I got Colossuses and then transitioned into Odin instead of transitioning into Xeno Guardian. He had less attack in that game, so I could afford it. I'm not sure why this one went differently. But there you go. So we managed all of these expert bot challenges without making any mistakes. Not enough to lose a game anyway, which is nice. And that's all the solutions to the puzzles. So we are done. I hope that this has helped you guys further your understanding of Prismata and helped with any puzzles that you were stuck with. If you want to see more Prismata, you know where to find me. I have a Prismata playlist, so feel free to watch that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.